Dear past me, getting involved can make your time in high school a million times better. You get to meet new people, plan awesome events, and really have your voice be heard. And if you want to leave your mark, run for a class or club office. So a typical class or club has 4 positions: president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. The president is the leader of the group. They have the most responsibility because they have the most say in the club. It's definitely a large undertaking, but if you're passionate for what the club stands for, you'll love doing it. Then you have the vice president. If you don't quite feel like you want to be the center of attention, the person who all the responsibility sort of falls on, the vice president is a great option. They basically assist the president in doing everything they need, and if the president can't be at a meeting or an event for some reason, they step in and fill in for them. Next up is the secretary. The secretary is someone who basically writes down all the notes, otherwise known as minutes, at a meeting, and just kind of keeps track of everything. Definitely makes lots of lists of different names and responsibilities, and is also the person if you need to write up like a formal document or a thank you card or anything in that sort. They basically do anything that has to do with writing. Quick tip, if you do not have the best handwriting or access to a computer or a tablet, you may not want to be a secretary because they do a lot of writing that definitely needs to be legible. And finally, in most clubs, there is a treasurer. The treasurer's job is to keep track of all the money and basically, start fundraising initiatives or just basically track all of the spending of the club and make sure that that's all in order if there are class dues or different dues for whatever club or whatever with basically everything to do with money. I happen to be the treasurer of Keek Club, so basically I make sure that everyone has their dues in for the year and just keep track of all of the fundraising efforts throughout the year and see if we have enough money to donate to different causes. So if you are interested in running for office, here are some of my best tips. Number 1, sign up as soon as you possibly can. You don't want to miss the deadline, obviously, but also just getting your name out there as soon as possible, letting the staff or the other people involved just know that you have any interest in it. That is super helpful in getting your campaign started. Step number 2, develop your platform. Your platform is basically the reasons you're running and what you can bring to the club or the organization. So, for example, I feel like on TV, they kind of make it like the person who has the craziest, most exciting and fun platforms usually win. Like if a president promises no homework and free ice cream, yeah, that is something I would definitely stay away from. You want to have doesn't necessarily have to be a totally serious platform, but a platform that you can deliver on. You don't want to have a bunch of empty promises, especially if you would like to be reelected in the next year. So an example of a good platform would be maybe if you're running for a class office and you said that as president, I will work to get lunches outside. At my school, that's something we did because we had these picnic tables out on that patio, I guess is what we're kind of calling that area. But we were never really allowed to go back there and use it. So basically we worked to get our lunchtime to be outside and on that new patio with all of those tables. And just having lunch outside was really fun and unique, and it kind of made us all obviously even more excited for lunch besides the food. But just little things like that people can really get on board with, but that you can actually accomplish. Those are good things to have for your platform. Number 3 is get the word out. No one will vote for you if they don't know that you're running. So make sure that you and your platform are plastered everywhere. That means posters, that means getting the word out, just talking to people, actually interacting face to face with people, which I know kind of seems like a foreign concept. But trust me, if you actually go up and talk to someone and explain what you're doing, you will be so much more successful. I know I've definitely gone up to people that I didn't really know that well, but that I knew maybe didn't really have a connection to necessarily any of the other candidates, and just talk to them about why I was running and what I believed in. And I think that the effort was really worthwhile. Number 4, make a killer speech. Almost all elections have a portion where when you're running against the other candidates, right before the vote or maybe a little bit before the vote, you go up and make a speech, including your platform, and basically just asking people, vote for me. So if you want to get those people to vote for you, your speech needs to be awesome. So definitely make sure you get it done ahead of time. Winging it is not a good idea for this. Because the truth is, for the most part, people vote for their friends. Even though you really should be voting for the person who you feel is most qualified, the truth is people will always go and vote for their friends. But then there's that group that I'm going to call like others, and those people are the people that don't really have necessarily a close friend running. Those are the people that are going to be voting solely based on your platform. So those are the people that you really need to reach in your speech. Those are the people that can be persuaded by your speech. So make sure that you are prepared, that you know your platform, that you are ready to answer questions, and make your speech lively. If you just go up there and are like, all right, well, I guess I'm running. I don't really know why, but, that's not going to go so well for you. You need to have a really strong understanding of what you want to go for, and also add a little flair to it somehow. Whether it be like going up there and speaking with little note cards so that you're like engaging the audience, walking around, making eye contact, just make it a lively, entertaining presentation so that people want to watch you, want to listen to you, and will remember your speech. Now, this is not for everyone, but a friend of mine last year won by rapping his speech. This may not work for all clubs, especially if there's one that is much more serious, but it totally worked for him, and it was for a class vice president. And it totally worked because it was hilarious and it was really fun and engaging, but he really did hit the serious points. He talked about why he wanted to be a vice president, what he could bring to the table. So he had a really fun mix of being a little goofy and entertaining, but also really hitting the key points and being very serious and dedicated to the position. Finally, number 5, accept the result. They will not always go your way. I personally have won and lost elections for classes and clubs, but you know what? I've honestly never regretted running. I think there's so much you can learn about yourself, and just through the process, you become a better public speaker, you become just more confident in yourself, you kind of learn what your values are based on your platform. I just think running is a really great experience in itself, so win or lose, just remember, it's very important to definitely congratulate the winner either way, because they are not out to get you. They were not necessarily going to beat you. They just wanted the position too. So make sure to accept defeat graciously. If you do get the position, good for you. But now you actually have to act on all of the issues you said you would act upon in your platform to show that you're reliable and dedicated and that you really are the right person for the job. If unfortunately things don't go your way, there are still so many options. I ran for a president position in National Honor Society, and unfortunately I did lose to a good friend of mine in a very close election, but that's okay because I knew he would do an amazing job. And then something else came out of it. My teacher saw how much I really wanted the position and how much I wanted to be involved, so he invited me to attend some meetings and also to kind of have more of an important role in the club, even if it didn't technically have the name. He would ask me about different ideas he had. I would be one of the first people he would ask about different volunteer opportunities. He basically was able to take the drive and dedication that I showed for my election and kind of reward me by giving me sort of the first pick in some of the events because he knew how much I wanted them. So even then, I still feel like I won. So finally, I just wanted to run through my top 3 reasons why you definitely should be a class or club officer. Number 1, it's a great leadership opportunity. No matter if you're the president or the treasurer or whatever on that little committee, you are definitely still really important, and you get the opportunity to stand up in front of your class or your club and make announcements based on your responsibilities. And I think that's really cool to be able to really take charge of something and feel that responsibility, and it will definitely help you in life. Number 2 is the cool experiences. I was the treasurer of Keek Club, like I said earlier, and I got to take all of the food from the food drive. We did like a week-long food collection, and I got to bring it to the community center for the food pantry, and just seeing how grateful they were, it was just a really cool opportunity to kind of just watch how the event that we had planned and put together and worked so hard for, how it was really impacting the community. And I just thought that was really incredible, and that's something that I would not have been able to do if I wasn't an officer. And number 3, it is awesome for college, for scholarships, for jobs, for everything, to show the leadership, to show the dedication to a certain area, whether it's a club or a class. I've said those words so many times in this video. But to show all of that, it looks so good on your college application. You need them for most scholarships to even be in the running. And then for a job, especially if you don't really have much work experience, being able to put a ton of volunteer experience down is so good, and you definitely get the best opportunities as an officer. So I would definitely recommend running for office. So past me, best luck in your next election. Sincerely, your future self.